I was going to tell you a little story first to get the mood back in that, although it seems to be fine. Not long ago, we did an outreach program called Convoy of Hope. If you guys don't know what it is, you go to the inner city and you help a bunch of people that need medical care, clothes, whatever. So our church was going down there, and Rob's son, who's our youth leader at the church, and I were driving the church van down this really narrow street with cars on either side. And this lady comes the other way and wouldn't yield to us, and we're stuck in the middle. We can't move. We're stuck. I'm pulling in the side mirrors. We're like crammed in there. And we're like, what do you want us to do? Well, she starts yelling words that I'm a family-friendly comedian and I won't use. But so we're like, I don't know what you want us to do. Can you just back up? And she's yelling. I'll narrow it down. I'm trying to take out all the bad words. And she said, I'm not backing this car up. It's a 2014 Dodge. I'm like, I don't care what year it is. It probably has a backup camera. So why don't you scoot it on back? And I said it like a Christian would. First I yelled and said, what's your problem? Like a Christian would say. I mean, I want to get my point across. So she reaches, she's like, oh yeah? And she reaches over and I'm like, oh dear God, we're about to get shot. We're in a bad part of town. I did not grow up in this area, so I have seen it in movies, but so Ryan and I look at each other and we're not sure, should we hold each other? I mean, we're about to meet Jesus, so I don't really want to go out that way. And I'm like, should we pray together? What are we supposed to do now? And we look at each other and we're just like, I don't know, Jesus, help us. And she pulls out and points out and goes, I'm not moving, and it's a burrito. I'm like, God changed the gun to a burrito. That's awesome. I remember turning water to wine. I got one story better. That's cool. And then she goes, I'm not moving. It takes a bite. I'm like, oh, she knew it was a burrito. Still pretty cool. Not as cool as God changing it to one, but it's still pretty cool. But anyway, we kind of got the first half of the show earlier. So to start where I left off, my wife did not know when we got married that I would be as difficult as I have been. And I apologize in public now. But I told you about the Bubba story. Another time we had friends coming over and we had just gotten married. This was her lifelong friend. They were engaged. She's like, this is my friend. We're like sisters. I've known her all my life. Please don't mess this up. It's so hard to find friends that you guys like each other and we like each other, and it's just so hard to do when you're married. I'm like, okay, I got it. Calm down. What am I going to do? Seriously, how am I going to hurt this? And inside I'm like, please Jesus, please give me strength. I don't want to mess this up. So they come over and I'm trying to be a good host. And I'm like, I'll get you guys want drinks? Okay, I'll get you drinks. And I'm getting drinks out of the freezer, ice, and everything. The drinks are in the freezer, that would be weird. Ice is in the freezer and the drinks, and I'm getting them all set up. And this whole time, the door is staying open on the refrigerator. And as an ice cube flies out, I go to pick it up. And when I stand up, the door had closed. So when I stood up, it was hard enough that it actually threw a glass out of the freezer door and rocked the freezer forward. And everyone gasped. And I went, filter's full. Because she had said, I want you to clean out your filter, make sure it's all good, don't have any problems. That was the first thing that came to mind. I was kind of happy with that. She was still horrified. I thought that was pretty clean compared to what could have come out of my head. Maybe it was the beginning letter that threw her out. But I think marriage is all about messing with each other. I don't recommend that, probably. Don't take this as like gospel or anything. Actually, don't take anything what I say as gospel. But I think marriage is about messing with each other. And I, like what I'll do, just as an example, Sunday morning, the best time to start a conflict, I think. Getting ready for church, everything's good. And I'll come out and like, what do you think of this outfit? I trust your judgment because you're good at judging others. Just to see if that spark's still there. I know there's passion in the relationship. That's all I'm saying. But she's a lot smarter than me. So she plans out her attacks way in advance. what she does, see, I have a cold today, which I explained earlier for those of you. That's why I sound kind of Barry White, or I like to hear myself as Barry White. She plans out her way in advance. Last time I had a cold, probably this time last year, she said, you need to try Vicks nasal spray. I'm like, I don't like Vicks. She like lathers up with it. Oh, Vicks, if anybody in the house has a cold. Oh, you got a cold? Yeah, I'll take some Vicks. I love Vicks. And she's like, spread. I'm like, my gosh, it smells like Vicks in here. What's your problem? I hate the smell of Vicks. But I'm finally like, fine, I'll try it. So I do the nasal spray, and I shoot like you're supposed to, and I wait for it, and I hear this high-pitched screaming noise, and I'm like, what is that? Oh, that's me screaming, because it feels like there's no front on my face, and wind's just blowing into my skull. I'm like, what is wrong with this stuff? And she goes, yeah, judging. Really? So she's a lot smarter than me. It's kind of too bad, really. But I always grew up in church. There was a little part in the middle where I was kind of strayed away, but we won't talk about that because I'm a family-friendly community. See, it's not that hard to say. I don't know why you say. So I grew up in church, and I grew up in this little bitty Baptist church. There was like 4 of us. My grandfather was a preacher, my grandmother, my mom, and me. And then we weren't leaving until we had the altar call every Sunday. Guess who that was? It was just faster. As soon as they start playing the organ just as I am, I'm just heading up. I'm like, yeah, rededicating. I need Jesus. Let's get this over with, people. Let's go. I've been rededicated more than should ever happen, probably. But the problem is, I became Pentecostal in a Baptist church, which is not a good thing. And what happened was my mother, I would act up because there's 4 of us, let's be real, I'm a little kid. She would reach over and just with her fingernails touch skin and squeeze. And so you jump up and shout, Jesus, please help me. That's not good in a Baptist church when your grandfather's the preacher. That's the reason I had to get rededicated every Sunday. So I actually went with a friend of mine, invited me to his church, and it was Pentecostal, and all these people were jumping up and shouting. I'm like, what is wrong with all these heathens? Not one of them can stop acting up. So I started going with him to church, and it was a Pentecostal church, and one Sunday we were talking, and everyone was praying, and they said, would you pray? And I said, yeah, sure. And so I started praying, and then they said, oh, would you pray in tongues? And I'm like, I'm new to this, I don't know what you mean. Oh, you pray in another language. I'm like, okay, all right. Dear Lord, we come to you today, we just ask that, like, that's not what we're talking about. It's a language you don't understand. Oh, Cajun, I get it. That didn't go over well either. So anyway, you're making all right.
Plug me up with Tom.
So I'm not popular with Baptist church, I'm popular with Pentecostal church. I don't know what to do with that. But I don't want to just do comedy. I want to do other side projects too. I don't want to just be pigeonholed. I've got other irons in the fire. I'm worried about this health.
I know too many Cajuns.
That was spot on, wasn't it? So I'm trying to do other side projects. Like I'm working on an alarm clock, and I know smart aleck people will say, I have an alarm clock. This one's different. What happens is, you use this when you have to get up early, like sunrise service or one of those things. You have to be up for a meeting, whatever. When you can't hit snooze, this is the alarm clock to plug on. How many of you have pets? Yeah, this is the noise it makes. Guaranteed. You're going to pick up dogs, spouses, children. They're all going to be on the front lawn. So, there'll be a sign-up sheet in the back for that. I'm also working on grocery store yoga. This is what I call it. It's when people block the aisle of the grocery store and they'll always be like stretched out, like that you can't. I need the peanut butter and the mayonnaise. Sorry, I'm gonna just go around. They annoy me. So instead of being angry, I'm gonna start teaching classes on it. You get your whole family spread out, kids spread out. Sorry, this line's blocked off. You're gonna have to go around. It's always every time where there's a family, like a reunion. You see people that haven't met. I haven't seen you in 20 years. Oh, you're gonna talk about it right here. That's awesome. You try to get in the conversation. I just need. Yeah, I know. Just have. So you're there for 20 minutes. I hate that. So I'm teaching classes on it now. Just embrace it. Why be angry? Just embrace it. That's my motto. Also working on a song for McDonald's.
Oh, good.
I've been to every McDonald's in the area and they're not taking it. I don't know what the deal is, so I'm going to keep going. There's a lot of McDonald's. Somebody's going to take it, surely. So with my cold, I apologize, but here goes. The song goes, when I see all those fries, I will scream supersize at McDonald's. Ow. I can't do this song. Sorry. Give me a second. I've never had so many people watching me drink. It's kind of awkward. When I see all those fries, I will scream supersize at McDonald's. I just want a Big Mac, so I keep coming back to McDonald's. Kids, they scream. All they do is scream at McDonald's. Won't you run and play? Please just go away at McDonald's. So, but they're not buying it, and I don't get it. Probably because I have no voice, and I sound like a kid going through puberty, but still, they're not buying it, I don't get it. But I always hear voices in my head, and I know that sounds crazy, but I'm kind of, well, he hears lots of voices in his head. Most of them Cajun. And so, I hear voices, but they're not like the normal voices. Like, I hear voices for people that are talking to me, but it's not their voice. For example, my wife, we were at Taco Bell, and she said, just give me my usual bean burrito, no onion, add sour cream. I'm like, okay, and she goes to the bathroom and wash her hands because we're at Taco Bell. And so, that's a legitimate thing there. So I'm going up to the front, and I hear this, because my mom taught me to constantly fixate on things. I talked about that earlier, and all in my head I'm hearing, bean burrito, no onion, add sour cream, bean burrito, no onion, add sour cream. Somehow, her voice kind of morphed into Droopy Dog. She didn't sound anything like Droopy Dog, so I don't know how that happened. But when I get up there, the guy goes, can I help you? And I said, bean, bean, can do anything, and he said, what? Bean, bean, and he's typing it in. Anything else? Steak quesadilla and 2 salsas. And he looked at me, I'm like, her voice does that, not mine. I don't know why. Whatever. I've always been fixated with accents and voices, and here's a side note. The word lisp is evil, because people that have it can't say that word. I think that's wrong. I'm just saying. Just a side note, that's a freebie. I'm just throwing it out. That dawned on me the other day. I'm like, why do we call it that when they can't say that? Anyway, I love accents, and like we were married 6 months before she realized I wasn't English. She thought I was English. So, win for me. But English accents, women love English accents, and it's funny because you can say anything with an English accent, and women think that's great. Like, hello, you have beautiful eyes. May I have them? He's a serial killer. He just asked you for your eyeballs. Why are you laughing at that? That's not normal. But on the flip side, Scottish, I feel bad for those people because no matter what they say, sounds creepy. What time is it? What? What time is it? It just sounds creepy when it's Scottish. I don't know why. But I think we should do more voices, but do them like audio Bibles because no one's reading their Bible enough. I mean, Some of you, I guess some of you are, you're pastors. So. Which is nice. But you get paid to read your Bible. The rest of us don't have that luxury. So we have to do it the old-fashioned way, like audio Bibles on the way to work and stuff. So I'm thinking do cool voices with audio Bibles. Like the baseball announcer voice, because the Royals just won. Just for those answers. I was pretty excited, so God does still answer prayer.
And miracles do happen.
They do. So I'm thinking do the baseball announcer voice for the Bible, the old school baseball, like when I was a kid, you hear him on the radio and you listen to him, and it's like, I just picture Noah in the ark. The dove's going back, all the way back. I mean, I just picture that excitement in the Bible. And maybe it would get old after like the first couple chapters, but still. But then you could do like cool ones, like more upbeat with the kids nowadays, like Darth Vader. That would be cool. Like from the Star Wars movies. In the beginning was the Word. This cold is actually working better for me. I need a good cold for every show. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God. See, that would be cool as Darth Vader. Until you get to like Song of Solomon, then it's creepy. Well, the breathing part would work, I guess. Let him kiss me with the kisses of his mouth. That just sounds wrong. I apologize. I should have thought that one through better. But what's funny is you make little observations, or at least I do, along with all the voices and stuff. To me, kids are funny, because we don't have kids. So God probably saw fit to do that for a reason. Pretty good reason, probably. But what's funny is kids do stuff that adults would never get away with. I mean, not just the running and screaming. Sure, that'll get you hauled up to jail too, but I'm talking about, hey, is that your new iPhone? Oh, that's nice. What adult would do that? That would get you beat up, probably. I'm pretty sure. My favorite is my nephew, who is at that age. He's 3, I believe. Isn't he 3? I'm really close with him. But he's 3. I wasn't sure if he turned 4 yet. And for the record, he's 3, and he's at that negotiation phase where they're like, "You're throwing a fit," and he's like, "Well, I wouldn't be throwing a fit if I had that toy." It's like, oh, that's dangerous. But what I love, thanks to me, I love superheroes, so I taught him that he's Batman. I don't see a problem with that. I can't be Batman, so why can't he? At least he has the age where he can get away with it. So he now refers to himself in third person as Batman. And he says Batman wouldn't be upset if Batman had that toy. I'm like, that is cool. That will get you hauled off at my age. You'll be in the funny part, but enjoy it while you can. But I just love voices and all that, just any kind of accents. One of my favorite voices before he passed away was the movie voice guy. I don't know if you guys remember him. He always did the movies, and he's, huh? No, I'm talking like more recent than that. He just died a couple years ago. I think it was Don LaFontaine or something like that. And he did like all the movie voices. And I once saw Romeo and Juliet because it sounded really cool. Well, he lies. That's what he does. That's his job. He's required to lie to make movies sound good. And then you get through, you're like, this movie did not sound nearly as good as he made it sound. So, but I loved his voice, and I thought how cool that would be. And I mean, as a Bible, or even, what if he had any job other than lying to you about movies? If he lied to you in any other job, that'd be wrong. 911 operator, can you imagine? Poor guy calls up, yeah, I cut my leg, it's bleeding pretty bad. Pretty sure I need to send an ambulance. Are you sure? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's pretty bad. Is the artery severed? I'm pretty sure there's blood everywhere. I'm feeling pretty dizzy. Are you sure? Yeah, I'm pretty sure, yeah. Maybe you could just send a police car by then, maybe not an ambulance, or what? Are you sending anyone, or? Are you sure? I guess not. I'll just put a belt around it and hope for the best, I guess. Are you sure? I guess I'm gonna lay down on the bed. Blood's pretty much gone now, so I'm feeling pretty dizzy. I'll just take a nap.
Thank you for calling 911.
That guy would be a jerk. In my world, he's a jerk. But I picture him at like a fast food place or something.
Welcome to McDonald's.
Because they won't take my song, I'm picking on them.
Welcome to McDonald's. What would you like to eat?
I'll take a number 1, supersize.
Are you sure?
I guess I'll just take a number 2.
Would you like it to be supersized?
Yeah, still do, yeah.
It's bigger and better.
I said, yeah, I'll take it. These voices are killing me.